Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. I hope you all are doing amazing. In today's video, I will be tapping into the energies of the person on your mind and their current feelings towards you. So as per usual, the timestamps will be in the description bar below as well as the comments. So let's just get started here. Okay, so we'll put it up here. Starting off with Aries. Let's see. Okay, so we have the Knight of Cups on the bottom of the deck, and we have the Sun card. Okay, some of you could be dealing with a water sign, Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio. We have Leo energy here as well. Seems to me that there is a conversation that is taking place between you and another individual this week, and I feel like it's something that's going to make you very happy. The Knight of Cups could be an emotional confession or some sort of a heart-to-heart conversation here, but ultimately it results in you feeling very happy, very loved, or satisfied in one way or another. Okay. How is this person feeling about Aries? Okay, so we have the Hermit. Some of you could be dealing with the Virgo. Okay. Sorry, guys, I'm just looking at the image. This is a new deck here for me, at least. So the Hermit, and then we have the Strength card. Okay, and we did see the Sun card. So some of you definitely could be involved with an Aries here. But what I see is that this is someone who is in a shadow period, or they are dealing with something on their own. With the Hermit, that's usually going within. It's when someone is in what may feel like an introspective period. There's something that they're trying to figure out on their own. Now, with the Strength card, I feel like they are refraining from communicating something. Okay, so even though they're speaking to you, there's something that they're going through on an internal level that they're kind of either numbing the pain, A, or B, there's some sort of discomfort with being open and speaking about it. There's something here that they're going through which requires a lot of strength from them, is pretty much what this energy boils down to. Okay, and then we have the Eight of Wands, yeah. So I do see a lot of back and forth communication. Something could be taking off fairly quickly between the both of you, okay? And I do see that this is someone who's opening up to you, but I also see that there are certain things or certain shadow aspects that they're not comfortable speaking about. That's the best way for me to explain this. And the Eight of Wands, again, a lot of communication. This could also be read as like a card of manifestation, where someone is wanting something to take off between the both of you, or there's like a specific outcome that they're wanting this connection to result in. The Hermit is being clarified by the Seven of Wands. Yeah. I can't help but intuitively feel like this is someone who is feeling connected to you, wanting to speak to you or get to know you on a deeper level. But there are certain things that they're like, you know what, I want to keep that to myself. Or if there's, for example, an issue that they're going through in their personal life or with a family member, they don't feel ready to be open about it. Seven of Wands is it could be a very guarded or defensive energy. And I'm also getting that this is someone who is, there's either some sort of guilt that they're carrying, or there's something here where it's like, I don't feel ready to touch on that. Strength card, the King of Pentacles. I feel like this is someone who wants to attain something very stable with you. That is what they have in mind. And, you know, with the King of Pentacles and the Eight of Wands, they definitely have a specific outcome, whether it's I'm connecting with Aries this week, but I'm ready to take the next step here, or I want to be exclusive, or I want to put a title on what we have. They want this connection to feel more stable or tangible with that King of Pentacles energy. And the Eight of Wands, Ace of Cups, yeah. Definitely see an emotional confession that's making you very happy. I do think that you're feeling very excited because of the conversations that you guys are having. And this is someone who's opening up to you emotionally, offering you their cup of love, but they're going to let you know that they're working towards something stable. So it doesn't feel casual. It doesn't feel like someone who's just coming in with an emotional outpour and they don't have a plan in mind. But I also think that in their energy, you're going to find that I don't want to say that they're operating in a discreet way, but you can tell that they're going through something that is requiring a lot of strength. Two of Swords. It almost seems to me, Aries, that like connecting with you this week, I don't want to say that it feels like a distraction, but you're helping this person take their mind off of very difficult things in their life. And there's something here that they're avoiding, because the Two of Blades, well, which is the Two of Swords, it could definitely be when you're in a state of denial or you're picking and choosing what you want to focus on. And when I look at this image, it's like, there's some sort of drama going on behind her. And she's kind of like, this is not my issue, or I don't want to focus on that. It doesn't change the fact that it's still occurring, but it's behind her, right? And so there's this like avoidant energy. And I also think that this could even be because the swords is usually mental energy. And so when I'm again looking at this image, I think that there are some sort of negative thoughts that this person is trying to avoid, or they're trying not to feed into like a pessimistic way of thinking. They're trying to remain positive this week. And I also feel, guys, like with the Seven of Wands and the Two of Swords, there could be something that is shifting within like a thinking pattern for this person. Whether it's their self-perception, how they have been viewing this connection, whether they've been giving power to an external influence and it's somehow impacted their relationship with you. They're really trying to like reclaim their power or let go of that. We have the Ace of Swords. Yeah, Ace of Cups and Ace of Swords is definitely someone who is being very open and honest with you on an emotional level, but also Ace of Swords is like a breakthrough in a situation. So this could be someone you haven't heard from in quite some time, or you guys have been speaking, but it's been very surface level. I think that when this person opens up to you this week, you're going to receive clarity. You're going to know where they stand when it comes to this connection here. And even if there's something that or if there was like a sense of, okay, I know this person's taking a liking towards me, but they've never really opened up and told me what they wanted moving forward. That's something that's going to be changing this week is what I see. Ace of Cups, King of Cups, yeah. Some of you are definitely dealing with the water sign, but what I see is someone who feels very emotionally connected to you, and there's something about wanting things to feel more stable or wanting to create, like a home or a family dynamic with you. And yes, this may be someone who is avoiding some sort of drama or not wanting to speak about an uncomfortable situation. But King of Cups and Ace of Cups is someone who's being very open about their emotions towards you and what they want to build or move towards. And I definitely see like, a persistent message here where it's like a heart-to-heart conversation that's going to result in a breakthrough in this connection here. Okay. So that is what I'm getting for you guys. Moving on to Taurus. Okay. Taurus, let's see. The person on your mind and their current feelings towards you. Okay, guys, so we have the Nine of Blades on the bottom of the deck, which is the Nine of Swords, and then we have the Ten of Coins, so Ten of Pentacles. The person you're thinking about, Taurus, has some sort of stress or a very anxious kind of energy associated with the higher level of commitment. So I can read this multiple different ways. So like it could be someone who is non-committal, and so that could be the reason why a higher level of commitment is stressing them out. Or it could be someone who's involved in a connection, but there's something that is really causing them to feel very anxious. Nine of Swords is someone who's up in their mind about a situation. It's someone, that could be facing a loss of sleep, loss of appetite. And I strongly feel it's pertaining to a higher level of commitment or some sort of a family dynamic. Okay. I also see a very unexpected energy here. Like this could be someone who's connecting with you, but they did not expect to, fall for you, or the way that the both of you cross paths could have been very, very unexpected. Okay, let's see. Okay, how is this person feeling about Taurus? The King of Cups. Some of you could be dealing with the water sign, and we have the Seven of Pentacles. Okay, so what I see here, Taurus, is like you have someone here who is stressed out or feeling extremely anxious, okay? And they are looking at the situation with you this week. And yes, they're acknowledging their emotions towards you with the King of Cups, but they are also asking, themselves, is this worth the investment? There may be something in particular that this person wants to pursue with you, or there may be a specific outcome that they're attached to. But Seven of Pentacles is like a very realistic and logical energy. It's like, okay, if I put my best foot forward, or if I invest in this situation, is it going to result in what I want it to result in? Is it going to be a situation where the both of us are satisfied? And I think that if this is someone who's reaching out to you, they're operating in a very diligent manner with the Seven of Pentacles. Paying attention to the details, being very careful with their choice of words, picking and choosing what they want to share with you this week versus, what they want to refrain from speaking about. The Two of Swords. Not only do I see like a very anxious energy, guys, you may be dealing with someone who is a tad bit of an avoidant. Again, I'm not here to diagnose anyone, guys, but I am saying I'm telling you the energy that I'm getting here, right? And I'm saying that with the Two of Swords, there's something here they're not wanting to face. Whether this is an issue in their environment, whether this is the current reality of the situation here. And it is something that is coming up for them mentally, but the Two of Swords could be when you're like in an avoidant energy or you're in denial about something. So it's not that they're like completely not acknowledging maybe something that's bothering them, but they're suppressing it, or they're pushing it to the back burner. They're like, I don't want to think about that this week. I don't want to deal with that this week. A very avoidant energy that's coming through here. I also feel with the Two of Swords, this could be someone who's having a very hard time figuring out a new approach. Seven of Pentacles could be a very observant or analytical energy. And when you have it alongside with the Two of Swords, that's like, someone who's trying to figure out how to speak to you or how to approach something differently, but there's a lot of uncertainty here. And the uncertainty stems from a space of avoiding something that is in front of them, being in denial about something. Like it may feel easier for this person to avoid, let's just say, the reality of the situation or some sort of an obstacle here as opposed to deal with it head on. The Moon, a lot of suppressed emotions here. Some of you could be dealing with the Pisces. And I feel like this is a week where this person feels like their emotions are very up and down. Maybe some days they feel very like they have their emotions intact and it's all under control. And other days they just feel like they're being bombarded with many different emotions and thoughts. But this is someone who feels like they are not emotionally balanced this week. And the Moon card is feeling these emotions, but keeping it to themselves, not wanting to communicate that to you. And I'm also getting with the Moon clarifying the King of Cups is this is someone who has very deep emotions for you. There may even be certain wounds or certain insecurities that have been triggered for this person as they were connecting with you. But I don't see someone who's being completely open. And I see that they're shying away or they're not wanting to face an issue because it feels so difficult to deal with it head on. So they're either doing something to numb those emotions or completely avoiding it and maybe even using work or something else as a distraction here. And the Moon card, okay, Knight of Swords, clarifying the Seven of Pentacles. But the Moon card, it also touches on, well, it has like two different definitions, right? Like the domestic side to things and then a very wild side. So this could be someone who feels like, yes, I feel connected to Taurus and we have a lot of fun together and, I have a great time. But there may be something here where they know that they need to either deal with suppressed emotions or deal with the wound in order to actually have something tangible or stable with you. And they're facing difficulty with that very thing with the, like I said, Two of Swords and the Moon card. The Knight of Swords clarifying the Seven of Pentacles. I think that there's a lot that this person wants to communicate to you, but it's about choosing the correct words or not wanting to do something impulsively. So this could be an individual that was extremely impulsive in the past, or they would kind of just say things to you in the spur of the moment and not really think about the future repercussions of it. And in the current moment, it's like, I don't want to be impulsive, or I don't want to say something that I will regret. And there could even be an energy of this person feeling like something that they communicated to you in the past, they want to take it back. Because the Knight of Swords could be a very fast moving energy, fast communication, wanting to have the last word, right? That sort of energy. And so there is some sort of regret in the way that they've communicated with you. Two of Swords, Four of Pentacles. Yeah. And I say this with transparency. I think that this is someone who's going through a lot mentally, emotionally, possibly even some sort of financial constraints with the Four of Coins. But if this is not about financial constraints, guys, this could be someone who's in a mentality of lack. Like they are wanting to speak to you, but they're like, do I have enough? Or do I feel like I am enough? And this could be a very withdrawn energy where it's someone is withdrawn because they're holding on to what they have left. So if they're going through, a tough period, or they've recently took some sort of a hit that really messed with them mentally, emotionally, or financially, that could be the reason why they're withdrawn, not feeling as stable as they could be, not feeling like themselves. And someone who actually struggles to open up emotionally and tell you, hey, I'm going through something. I think that this is an individual when they are facing a difficult situation. They, A, don't want to speak about it. And B, I don't really think they're completely facing it. They're doing something to avoid it, or this is someone who is using something as a distraction. So we have the Ten of Cups, clarifying the Moon card. When this person thinks of you, a family dynamic comes to mind, right? You give this person a sense of security or an energy of home. And I think that with the Ten of Cups, it's also someone who is wanting a family dynamic with you. But I think that this week, they are suppressing a lot of their emotions. This could also be an individual who hasn't had the best experiences when it comes to commitments in the past, because as I was opening your spread, the first message that I received was someone who's stressed out about a higher level of commitment. And the Moon and the Ten of Cups could also indicate someone who's quite literally entitled to another situation. And that could be the reason, or that could be the very thing they're keeping to themselves, or that could be the very reason that they're suppressing their emotions towards you, because they feel some sort of guilt with being fully open or expressive. The Six of Pentacles. They want to speak to you, but they feel like they're giving to more than one situation, or there's something here that they're juggling. You know, Taurus, if your question to me is this person making a decision, Seven of Pentacles, Six of Pentacles, on what they want to give to or what they want to invest in? Yes, I do see that. But I also strongly feel that there is a major issue here that they're avoiding. And in order to fully figure out where you want to invest your energy, you have to be very honest with yourself, right? And so with the Two of Swords, I see more of an avoidant energy. Yes, I do see the thought crosses their mind of, I can't juggle forever, or I need to make a decision. But then I also feel like this week they feel something is easier to avoid instead of dealing with it head on. The Four of Pentacles, the Three of Wands, they are concerned about the future here. The Three of Wands could also indicate someone who has some sort of a plan in mind, okay? So like they're thinking about the future, but they're creating a plan prior to coming forward here. But I'm also getting, Taurus, like as much as this person wants growth or expansion, they may have to figure something out on their own or completely let go of another situation in order for something to be stable with you. For others of you, it's more about emotional expression and finding that comfort with opening up to you, even if they're facing something or going through something that feels very difficult or feels very difficult to speak about. But what I will say is this is someone who spends a lot of time thinking about you, but they don't feel like they're in the position, at least not this week, to act on their emotions. Okay? So that is what I'm getting for you guys. Moving on to Gemini. Okay, Gemini, let's see. So the person on your mind and their current feelings towards you. Okay, guys, so we have the Sun card on the bottom of the deck. Some of you could be dealing with the Leo, and then we have the Judgment Scorpion energy. Okay, so Gemini, this is a very clear message that the person you're thinking about, well, let's start off by saying what's being illuminated to them this week is what needs to change in this connection. And there's a strong energy of feeling like if something doesn't change, there is going to be an ending, or there's going to be, like, it's going to be hard to come back from what a lack of change may result in. Okay, so it is a general read. You're going to know your situation better than I will, but this could be maybe toxic habits or patterns that aren't serving them or the connection here. But they're like, if I don't change this, or if something doesn't change between Gemini and I, then I think this is going to come to an end. And it's something that they can't run from. It's something that they can't avoid with the Sun card. That's usually some sort of clarity or information that's hitting you full throttle. Okay, let's see. Okay, let's see. How is this person feeling about Gemini? The Eight of Pentacles. This could be someone that you work with. Maybe they're familiar with what you do for work. Knight of Wands. Okay. Here's what I see, Gemini. In this person's feelings, you have someone who wants to work something out with you. Okay, so this could be wanting to come to a mutual agreement, and this could also just be someone who feels like they're invested, and they feel like they like you may even be seeing like an increase in their effort. But what's interesting is we have the Knight of Wands as well, followed by the Eight of Pentacles. So they're like something, so how they feel is something was working or progressing in this connection until it was not. So even if it's something that you were satisfied with, right? This person's level of effort or amount of effort may be something that you were content with in the past, but in the now, they feel like there's a very inconsistent energy. So it's not someone who feels like they weren't invested at all, but what they're acknowledging is this is not stable. This is not something that is going to work out for the long haul if we continue, down the path that we're going. Right? And the Knight of Wands could be someone who only communicates with you when it's, convenient for them. Or it could be something pertaining to their lifestyle. Maybe it's someone who travels a lot, or they have to travel for work. And that's something that impacted the connection in a not so good way. And so it's a strong energy of, yes, I have been invested, but I'm not doing as much as I could be doing. Or what we have been, or how we have been operating in this connection is not enough to make it last for the long haul. And that is a thought that they can no longer avoid. And that is what is, hitting them full throttle this week, is what I'm sensing strongly. The Ace of Wands. I think there's a lot of passion and chemistry between the both of you. But this is someone who's starting to realize that either their behavior needs to change, or there needs to be more consistency between the both of you, or more planning in this connection to actually attain some sort of stability with you. What's interesting in the Ace of Wands here is there's a blank canvas. So they do feel like the possibilities are endless, or they see that there's a lot of potential. But there may be something that they were running from. There may be something that they were continuing to do, knowing that it was impacting the connection here. And they're like, I can no longer just pretend like what I'm doing is not impacting this connection. And for many of you, this could be like someone's lifestyle, whether it be yours, whether it be theirs. And they're wanting to make changes. If it's someone who feels like they're very spontaneous or adventurous and like to travel a lot, they're like, well, I want something stable, but if I'm not really being consistent with Gemini, then how am I supposed to do that? Right? It could be someone who was connecting with you, but they were unable to let go of something else, like a pattern or a behavioral trait. The Wheel of Fortune. Some of you could have made something very clear to this person as well, like in terms of, if something doesn't change, I'm moving on, or you could have given this person maybe some sort of an ultimatum. But the Wheel of Fortune is usually a change after a very stagnant energy, because it's associated with more of a fixed energy, So this is why I was getting the energy of like someone who feels like something has always progressed the same way, or something has worked between the both of you for X amount of time. But in the now, it no longer does. And it's very hard for the both of you to ignore. For example, if this is a connection that started off on more of like a lighthearted note, but even though you guys have a lot of history together, it could be that both of you are at a different point or a different phase in your life where you're like, well, I'm no longer just going to be connecting with you when it's convenient, or I'm no longer just looking for a good time. I'm wanting something stable, or I'm wanting something more. And so the energetic shift is definitely something that they can't ignore. The Justice card, some of you could be dealing with a Libra. There could be some sort of legal issues pertaining to this connection as well. That's for some of you. But the Justice card could also indicate someone looking at a connection, right? And they're weighing the pros and cons. What's working, what's not, where is there room for improvement? If I invest, how will it turn out? The things I'm doing or saying, are they going to backfire on me? So a very analytical energy here. And they want to make something up to you. With the Justice card clarifying the Knight of Wands, there could be something that they've done very impulsively that they're now regretting. And so doing the right thing, this could resonate differently. I mean, the right thing is going to be different for everyone, right? Maybe for some of you, this person wants to apologize. Maybe for others of you, they want to make it up to you by being more consistent, right? This could be taking accountability, but it's a very truthful energy. And it's an energy of doing what feels right or fair, even if it feels very difficult to do. Okay, the Ace of Wands, Queen of Swords. I also think that this is someone who views you as highly intelligent, someone who's able to get to the bottom of issues on your own without the help of others. And they're viewing you in like a very detached energy this week. I don't really sense that they feel you're being, angry or upset with them, but they feel like you're completely detaching because you're no longer satisfied or content. So they definitely feel the disconnect here. And the Queen of Swords, it's a very realistic energy, right? It's accepting a situation for what it is and not what you want it to be. And that's how they're viewing you. They know they are acknowledging their emotions towards you. They feel like there's a lot of chemistry between the both of you. But there may be certain things that were keeping this connection together in the past, and it just no longer feels like it's enough. The Nine of Pentacles. This could be someone who's working on themselves. And the Wheel of Fortune, being clarified by the Nine of Pentacles and the Queen of Swords here, could be someone who feels like you're choosing yourself. Maybe some of you actually communicated that I'm going to choose myself, or I would rather be single than be in a situation that's so uncertain, right? Even if it wasn't that you have given this person an ultimatum, it could have just been you're very open and blunt. I don't want to be involved in an uncertain situation, and if it continues to progress this way, then I'm just going to keep to myself. And yes, they view you as a catch. Yes, they feel very deeply towards you, but they also know that they need to let go of something, or they need to stop doing something in order for things to be stable. The Justice card, the Stars. Some of you could be dealing with an Aquarius. What they have with you, they know, like, there's a very irreplaceable energy there. So this could be a connection where they're like comparing it to other connections, or they feel like they've never experienced a love like this before, because a star is usually like something that feels very rare or unique. But I also feel like this is a card, because this card also touches on like healing and holding on to hope or faith. Yes, they feel like the possibilities are endless. Yes, they feel like there's a lot of potential here. But there may be something they feel like they need to heal with you in order to actually see a change or turn over a new leaf. Queen of Swords, the Hanged Man. This could be a week where what's stressing this person out is wondering if the both of you are going to come out of a stagnant space. This could be someone who's actually questioning, if they were to reach out, is Gemini actually going to respond? And the Hanged Man, specifically clarifying the Queen of Swords, guys, is someone who knows that you're viewing them in a different perspective. You're viewing them as maybe in the past you felt there was potential for them to alter something about their lifestyle or change something. But in the now, it's almost like you're accepting that if something doesn't change, you're no longer involved. And whatever it is that this person was doing in the past to keep you invested, right? Or to keep this connection together, they feel like that is just no longer working. And that's becoming very clear to them based off of your energy or how you're operating as well. Okay. So that is what I'm getting for you guys. Moving on to Cancer. Okay. Cancer. Let's see. The person on your mind and their current feelings towards you. Okay, guys, so we have the Three of Cups on the bottom of the deck, and then we have the Hanged Man. Some of you could be dealing with the Pisces, okay? Okay, so this is a very clear message, Cancer, that you have someone who is thinking about you, okay? But they feel stuck. They either feel stuck mentally or they feel stuck because they are in another situation or there's some sort of an interference at hand here. Okay. If the Three of Cups is not, an interference, it's someone who's currently overindulging or they're taking part in something that's not really serving them for their highest good. I also feel with the Three of Cups and the Hanged Man, like the Three of Cups could also be read as like a very social card, someone who wants to spend quality time with you, someone who wants to converse with you, but they may be stuck in terms of like their approach or like how to approach you. Okay, let's see. How is this person feeling about Cancer? The Ace of Cups, okay, and the Six of Cups. You know, Cancer, I feel like someone is watching you move on or move forward because with the Ace of Cups being the first card in their feelings, it's like there's something new that you're dabbling in, or there's like an energetic shift that they feel on your end, especially followed by the Six of Cups, because the Six of Cups could indicate like a past lover who's wanting to return, but there's some sort of a shift that they feel. Do I think they have a desire to turn over a new leaf here? Yes, but Six of Cups could be when a past lover is returning, but there's something that you were not emotionally content with in the past, and that could be something that's resurfacing as you're reconnecting with this person. You know, keep in mind we are in a retrograde, okay, guys? So like, it's like it could be, yes, you have past lovers or past friends that are returning here, but it may be something that doesn't feel stable. And retrogrades take place, and the reason why things of your past resurface, it's so you could deal with it head on. Right? And if you learn the lesson, it's not going to occur. But if you have not learned the lesson, it's almost like a test here. So I do see that this person wants to turn over a new leaf and they're reaching out to you, but they feel like you're focused on something new. And I'm strongly picking up on that intuitively. So maybe you are in another connection and it's visible to them, or this is an assumption that they're making. Two of Swords. This could be someone who is in denial about you, their feelings towards you, or the situation for quite some time. And the Two of Swords, yes, it is someone who's coming forward, but they don't really have a plan in mind, or they're having a hard time seeing the bigger picture. They're like, I really don't know what the future holds, or I don't know how, Cancer is going to respond. And also, when I look at this image, guys, I strongly feel like there's some sort of conflict that they're avoiding. So they want to communicate with you, but they don't want to like open up a can of worms, or there's something in particular that they're refraining from speaking about because they feel that it would escalate into an argument or a conflict that they don't want to deal with. Ace of Cups, the Moon. This is someone who has emotions for you, but they have kept them suppressed, or it's like this is someone who operates in a very discreet energy. And the moon, it's usually what's hidden, what's in the unknown. But I think there's something here that this person is having a hard time running from, right? Even if they were using something as a distraction, I think that even if they were trying to avoid thinking about something, it's resurfacing for them this week. And even if they have been keeping their emotions suppressed, they're reaching out to you or they're really wanting to reconnect. And it's something that they're like, I can't run from this. I'm going to, act on my emotions. Do they know what the future holds? No. Is there a level of uncertainty? Absolutely. But I think that they're very determined to converse with you or initiate a conversation here. Okay. So the Six of Cups, Ten of Cups. Yeah, you feel like home to this person, Cancer. I think that there definitely have been conversations about the future together or creating some sort of a family dynamic or a home. But they feel very safe with you. And I also feel like this may be someone who has a hard time being vulnerable, but they do have a soft spot for you with the Six of Cups and the Ten of Cups. And, the Ten of Cups clarifying the Six of Cups is specifically someone returning because things with you feel right. Things with you flow, right? Six of Cups is when, like, someone could even feel like it could be when someone feels like they shared past lives with you, or like there's so much comfort where nothing feels forced. And so they're, drawn back to you here. Two of Swords, the Magician. I think that this is someone who has been, keeping tabs on you or watching you from afar and manifesting a specific outcome. I think that this is also someone who feels like they were not transparent with you in the past with the Moon card and the Magician. It doesn't necessarily mean that they, you know, kept some sort of crucial information away from you or did something, mean or that sort of thing. It could also just be someone who just wasn't open about their emotions. They were connecting with you, but maybe they were downplaying how they felt towards you, which could have created a block in the progress, when it comes to this connection. The Moon, the Two of Cups, wow. This is someone who absolutely loves you, Cancer. We have a lot of cups energy. This is someone who feels like you make their heart full. They're very emotionally content with you. And Two of Cups is not just someone who's like physically attracted to you or there's this emotional connection. They feel like they've met you for a reason because this card is also associated with your higher self. So not only are they feeling guided in your direction, I think that there has been a lot of spiritual lessons in this connection. And that's what makes it very rare or unique. Like connecting with you could have forced this person to look at aspects of themselves, like certain aspects of themselves that they've kept hidden or they were running from. Okay, 10 of Cups, Page of Cups. Wow. So I see this person reaching out to you. I think that what they're going to say can maybe, it's going to make you laugh or it's going to make you smile because, the Page of Cups, it's a very innocent, lighthearted energy. And I definitely see it as an emotional confession, but you may also be reminded of maybe why things ended or what you were not content with in the past is the best way for me to explain it. They have a soft spot for you. There may be children in this dynamic, but for many of you, there's something about like viewing you in this very youthful energy, like the way that you view the world or the way like your mindset, right, could be very different from theirs, but that could also be the reason why they're very attracted to you. The Magician, the Eight of Wands. So a lot of back and forth communication from this person is what I see. And with all this water energy, I think that this person's going to make it very clear in terms of like how they feel about you, how connected they feel to you. And I do think that they're going to make you feel special, right? But I also feel like maybe some of you want to know what they were not transparent about in the past, or you may feel like, okay, but I know what happened in the past. I can't just, sweep everything under the rug. But I do see this more of like a conversation making you happy this week or some sort of communication that you did not expect, but you're like, okay, this feels good, or I feel like this person's opening up. But it's just a matter of, do I trust this person or do I want to, give this person a second chance? And you may actually have someone from your past returning as you're dabbling in something new, or as even if you're open to something new here. Okay. So that is what I'm getting for you guys. Moving on to Leo. Okay, Leo, let's see. The person on your mind and their current feelings towards you. Okay, guys, so we have the Temperance on the bottom of the deck. Some of you could be dealing with a Sagittarius. And then we have the Hanged Man. And there was a persistent, like there was a heavy Leo energy in Aries reading. So maybe you guys have Aries placements or you're involved with one. Doesn't have to be the case for all of you, but we have the Temperance, Sagittarian energy, and then we also have Piscean energy with the Hanged Man. Seems to me that someone is very fixated on you this week, but this is an energy of like restoring balance or wanting to feel more at peace when it comes to the connection with you. Like there could be a disagreement, right? Both of their hands or arms are crossed here. And then the Hanged Man is like a very stagnant energy or something that is not, moving, a lack of progress. And so there could be a disagreement that caused things to be at a standstill, right? Between the both of you. But they're wanting to figure something out, or they're wanting to restore some sort of balance here is what I'm seeing. Okay, let's see. Okay. Two of Cups, followed by the Two of Wands. So it's someone who's at a distance from you, okay? Or it could be picking up on emotional distance, but Two of Cups is acknowledging that they're still in love with you. This is also a card of like listening to your higher self or listening to your intuition. So I think that this is a week where they're receiving a lot of signs about you, or they're feeling guided in your direction. But they're also acknowledging that there's distance, or there's some sort of a disagreement that occurred that caused the both of you to kind of like take some time apart here. And the Two of Wands could be like where someone is planning something, like their first steps to initiate a conversation, their first steps in order to break the silence. So I do see that they're in a little bit of a premeditated energy, but it is stemming from their heart space. Like they're like, okay, I still feel connected to Leo despite the distance, or I still feel like I'm in love with Leo. And so I think this is someone who wants to break the silence, and they're tired of things feeling very stagnant between the both of you. We have the Death card. Some of you could be dealing with the Scorpio. Yeah, things have been stuck between the both of you for quite some time. There could have even been an ending that kind of shifted the way that you viewed each other, or that the way that shifted the way that you view each other. But I feel this is someone who is reminded of the past and they want to return. And this is definitely a week where they're receiving certain signs about you, whether it's, numbers, maybe that, angel numbers, or you guys connect with each other through music here. And crows could also be symbolic for like a message, right? So I do think that this is someone who's like reaching out to you, or definitely planning on how to break the silence here. Two of Cups, the Ten of Swords. So the reason why this person could have been in like an avoidant energy for quite some time is the ending between the both of you could have felt very brutal. It could have been something where this person was like, I don't really know if we're going to be able to come back from that. I don't really know if I can reverse the effects of the hurt that was caused. And the Ten of Swords could also be read as like some form of like disrespect or betrayal. So they may have been waiting for the right time, or waiting for something to settle to reconnect with you. But the hurt that was caused is something they know you can't just ignore it, but they do want to leave the past in the past. They don't want to revisit it. They don't want to, relive what has occurred here. Instead, they want to reconnect with you, but turn over a new leaf. Ace of Pentacles, wanting something to feel a lot more stable between the both of you. This could be someone where they were working on themselves or working on their finances while you guys were taking some time apart. So they do feel like, it seems to me they're in more of a stable energy and they're operating from their heart space. But I do see someone who's avoiding speaking about a betrayal or an ending also. I see that strongly. Okay, the Death card and the Moon. It seems to me that an ending between the both of you has impacted this person much more than they've shown you. So whether it's when an ending occurred, they were in like a very nonchalant energy, maybe they chose to walk away and avoid a situation instead of dealing with the issues at hand. But they want to come back around. They want to reconnect with you, but they're offering you something stable. This could even be someone who's coming to a mutual agreement. Maybe something that they did not want to do in the past, or something that you guys were in disagreement about. You know, you guys are coming to a mutual agreement, or there's some sort of compromise taking place between the both of you. The Page of Swords, yeah. I mean, despite the distance, I think this is someone who has been keeping tabs on you. They have been very focused on you, but I don't think that they've always communicated that, because this is what was going on while the both of you were not speaking to each other. And now there's this plan of coming forward and offering you something stable. They're also very curious about you and curious about what has changed within that period of time as well. And Page of Swords, yes, it is a very curious energy, but because it's clarifying the Ten of Swords, I think that this is someone who feels that they could have handled an ending in a better way. Like maybe they feel like how they communicated with you was immature, or maybe they didn't say anything at all and they feel like they're not proud of that. But it's like mishandling a situation or feeling like they were very careless. Page of Pentacles, yeah. So this is someone who's reaching out to you. This is a small offer that has the potential to turn into something more. And they're, you know, driven from an emotional space, with the Two of Cups being the first card in their feelings, right? It's like, yes, I may, you know, be thinking about an ending and the ending was very brutal, but I can't change how I feel. And I still feel like I'm in love with Leo. I still feel connected to Leo. And I think that's the reason for coming back around here. What's the Moon card? The Page of Cups. So this could be like an emotional confession. This could be a message that feels very, you know, innocent. So it restores some sort of balance or harmony between the both of you. But I do see that this communication is going to make you very happy. I think you're going to realize that this is someone who wants to have something stable with you. But the Moon, the Ten of Swords, and the Death card is a very clear message that the past needs to be in the past in order for something to be stable in the now. And I'm not going to take away from, you know, how brutal an ending could have felt, but I think this is someone who really wants to move past that and reconnect with you. Because even if there was hurt caused, even if there was a level of frustration, they can't help how they feel, and they still feel connected to you, which is their reasoning for coming back around. Okay, so that is what I'm getting for you guys. Moving on to Virgo. Okay, Virgo, let's see. The person on your mind and their current feelings towards you. Okay, guys, so we have the Sun card on the bottom of the deck. Some of you could be dealing with the Leo. And then we have the Three of Coins, which is the Three of Pentacles. Seems to me, Virgo, that the person you're thinking about, they feel like there's a lot of potential between the both of you. They think that you guys could create something that could be extremely, like, stable. And this could also indicate that you have someone here who feels like you guys have like a similar outlook on life, where you guys are working towards like similar goals. They're viewing you as a very focused individual, someone who makes like very practical decisions with the Pentacle energy. But you know, initially what I was getting here is someone who's like, they see the potential. They feel like, you know, the both of you can create something very stable together. Okay. Sorry, guys. This is like a larger deck, so it's like extremely hard to shuffle here, but we'll make do. So how is this person feeling about Virgo? The Two of Wands. This could be a long distance union, or most of the communication between the both of you is taking place online this week. There could also be some sort of travel plans, you know, that are coming into play here, whether it's someone who is traveling towards you, whether it's someone who just wants to travel with you. But Two of Wands, guys, is like someone taking the first steps towards you or initiating something for the first time. right? So we're going to clarify to see, I mean, it could be someone you have history with, it could just be something fairly new, but like it's a very positive energy. Like someone sees the potential here, they're taking their first steps towards you, and there could be some sort of courting going on this week as well. You guys could be dealing with the fire sign. I did mention Leo with the sun card. Could be an Aries or a Sagittarius. The Six of Swords. This definitely may be someone who has to like quite literally physically relocate, okay? Or it's wanting to feel closer to you on like an emotional level. Now, with the Six of Swords, that is someone who feels like you bring them a lot of like peace of mind, okay? But when I look at this image, they may feel like they're walking on thin ice, or they're overthinking and being very cautious in their approach towards you. Because I don't feel like they're operating from fear-based thoughts, okay, per se, but I do feel like it's someone who's, they have the jitters, or they're feeling a little bit anxious, kind of like I need to do the right thing, I need to say the right thing, I don't want to mess this up. But I also feel like it's someone who wants to feel closer to you. Not just physically, but like on an emotional level. The Hanged Man, some of you could be dealing with the Pisces. This may be someone who is thinking about how to approach you for quite some time, but now they feel ready to, act on their emotions. Or it's someone that you're connecting with, but it hasn't really been consistent. Like maybe you guys have been trying to make plans, but the plans are not really getting off the ground. Or you guys communicate with each other, but it has been very surface level, or there's something that this person or something else in this person's life that required their attention, whether it be like career or like a family member, right? But it's someone who's making the time for you in the now, and they want to see progress. The Hanged Man is also when someone is having like a shift in perspective. So if they felt stuck, or they felt like there was distance between the both of you, they're starting to realize how they can close that emotional gap. Even if there was something that they felt defeated by, right? And Six of Swords, swords energy in general is more of a mental energy. So they could have been in their own way, or there could have been some sort of thoughts that they were feeding into that were creating an energetic block that they're, ultimately letting go of in the now. You help this person, Virgo, see things in a completely different light. Yes, there are similarities that they feel the both of you have, when it comes to, like life goals or the way that you guys operate. But there may be certain doors that you've opened for this person, or certain things that they were maybe very defensive towards until connecting with you, or closed off towards. Two of Cups. So this is someone who's absolutely in love with you. They're ready for a partnership. Not only do they see a lot of potential, they feel that you guys could actually attain something very stable. This doesn't feel like a casual energy, or someone who's just coming in hot and heavy, and they're unable to maintain that energy. This seems to me that this is an energy of someone who has a plan, who sees a future with you, and they're developing emotions for you fairly quickly here with the Two of Cups. But they're wanting to feel closer. So whether it's they feel like there's a guard up, whether it's they feel like in the current moment they can't be as consistent as they want to, and that's what they're, planning for, like how do I change that, or how do I physically relocate, like what they're trying to do in order to feel closer to you could obviously vary. It is a general read, but I'm strongly getting that this is someone who has a plan in mind, and they absolutely see a future with you. The King of Swords. King of Swords clarifying the Six of Swords could also be someone who's like cutting out bad habits, or cutting ties, with people that no longer serve them. It could even be like a certain situation that they were dealing with legally, and they're out of that space where they feel more ready to pursue something with you. Because you have someone who's operating from a very like realistic energy, and I think that's what they admire about you as well. And I was picking up on that as I opened the spread as well. Like someone who feels like you're very practical, you're realistic, you don't expect more than you can offer. So they don't feel like you're in this like, energy of maybe like a forceful energy, or you're expecting more than what you're giving. And they really appreciate that about you. But there may be something in their life that they had to completely, discard, or let go of in order to, attain something stable with you. And I see that this is a very honest individual. So there could be a conversation that you're having with this person this week, where they're bringing up something that they went through that was very difficult for them, that is very difficult for them to speak about. The Hanged Man and the Queen of Cups. Yeah. You may remind this person of like a parental figure, or you feel like home to them. Like you have a very understanding energy. You could be a very good listener as well. Um, and with the Queen of Cups, I think that they're not only viewing you in this like nurturing energy, they feel safe, they feel secure, they feel like you are someone that they can open up to emotionally without fearing any sort of judgment. Some of you could have water placements, okay? Or they feel like you're an empath, like you're able to put yourself in other people's situations, even if you haven't personally experienced it. And they feel you understand them and accept them for who they are. Even though this seems like a fairly new energy, I think that the conversations that you guys are having, or it could be a prediction, it's going to help the both of you get to know each other very quickly. Like you guys may be having conversations in the beginning stages of this connection that people don't really get to until, you know, X amount of time has passed, if that makes sense. Four of Cups, clarifying the Two of Cups. They're hoping you're on the same page. This is someone who could even be questioning your interest, especially if there's currently some sort of distance or like a guard up, some sort of an emotional barrier. But I also feel, guys, like with the Four of Cups and the King of Swords, it's someone who's cutting ties with things that they're not satisfied with. If they were in their own way, if they were continuing to invest in, something or someone that they weren't really happy with, they're putting an end to it. It's something they can no longer ignore. And I also think with the Hanged Man and the Four of Cups, something that they're becoming tired of this week is sitting in like a fantasy land, or because the Hanged Man as well as the Four of Cups, guys, it could touch on like daydreaming or fantasizing about something, but I think that that's the very thing they're becoming tired of. Like, I don't want to just be stuck in visions of Virgo and Die together. I want to get something off the ground here. The Star card, wow. What they have with you, they feel like is extremely special. Some of you could be dealing with an Aquarius. They feel like you possess unique qualities. They could also look at this connection as if it's something that they manifested. Like if this is someone who hasn't had the best experiences, in their past relationships, they're like, this is exactly what I wanted all along. It's like a dream come true is how they're viewing the connection with you. And then we have the World card. So this is like a major change in your love life, a major, like an end of a cycle, okay? So it could even be a very repetitive pattern that is coming to an end here. I'm strongly getting, guys, like this is either a long distance union or someone here travels for work. Or they travel because of something in their lifestyle. And it's someone who's becoming closer to you. Emotionally, yes, but I also see plans in like someone may need to physically relocate in order to start a life together with you. Because the World card and the Two of Wands is like a strong energy of physical distance. Okay. Or even if maybe you guys are, it doesn't have to be that you guys are at such a far distance from each other, but it could be that there has been more communication online and it's someone who wants to spend more quality time with you. Okay. So that's what I'm getting for you guys. Moving on to Libra. Okay. Libra, let's see. A person on your mind and their current feelings towards you. Okay, guys, so we have the Temperance on the bottom of the deck. Some of you could be dealing with the Sagittarius, and we also have the Ace of Wands. Okay, so first and foremost, Libra, I think that you have someone here who can't deny the attraction that they feel towards you. Like off the bat with the Ace of Wands, it's like someone feels like a magnetic pull towards you, yes, but I see a lot of physical attraction. Like this is someone who's physically attracted to you and they can't deny that. Now with the Temperance, that could be operating or doing something in moderation. So even though they feel this attraction and chemistry with the Ace of Wands, the Temperance could be, taking it step by step or one day at a time. Like there's, it's an energy of doing something in moderation. Okay. How is this person feeling about Libra? We have the Six of Cups and the Two of Pentacles. This could be someone who was like juggling, you know, in the past, maybe going back and forth between two or more options here. If it's not about treating you like an option, it could be someone that, like from your past, that you were connecting with, but they had a lot on their plate where you felt some sort of neglect. And so, with the Six of Cups as well as the Two of Pentacles here, guys, yes, it's someone who feels very attracted to you, but the Six of Cups could also be a very nostalgic energy. So reminded of you, or this is someone that you have history with, but they may feel like things were very unstable between the both of you in the past. And it's an energy of coming back around, but there could be something here where it's like, is this going to work out the way that I want it to? Can I actually maintain this? Because Two of Pentacles upright, guys, is either someone who has a lot on their plate, or they still feel like they're in between worlds, or in a tad bit of like an indecisive energy. Okay, we have the Five of Wands. They may also feel a sense of competition, like reaching out to you again. They may feel like, you know, you have options or you're dabbling in, you know, something new. But if the Five of Wands is not about competition, it could also be read as like external influences, or an external conflict that somehow directly impacts the connection with you. But they're viewing you as someone who's very attractive and highly sought after. Like intuitively, I feel like some of you could be in the public eye. Maybe some of you are, you know, you model, or, you know, you are in the public eye for maybe something like, you know, like makeup or like fashion, or the way that you present yourself. Like you could be known for that. And they really, and again, it's not just physical attraction. With the Six of Cups, you feel like home to this person and they are missing you. But I think with the Five of Wands, there's some sort of external influences that are causing them to feel, you know, powerless. They're thinking about the past with you, Libra, but they feel like there was a lot of chaos there. So, like, for example, while this person was connecting with you, maybe there were other energies that had an opinion on this connection, or they were trying to insert themselves in the connection between the both of you. And so it's an energy of wanting to avoid conflict or things that feel like they lack importance. Because as much as the fives talk about obstacles in tarot, the Five of Wands in particular is usually something you feel is petty, or you feel like you could have avoided it. The Six of Cups, the Ace of Pentacles. So this is someone who's offering you something stable, wanting something to feel more tangible between the both of you this time around. And this person could also be like reaching out to you, yes, wanting to offer you something stable, but they could also be like making a plan to do something that the both of you enjoyed doing together in the past. Like maybe you guys have like you know, like a favorite park that you guys go to. Maybe you guys have like a favorite restaurant that you guys go to, or like there's like an activity that you guys enjoy doing. And I think they're going to plan that so that you guys can reconnect in a space where you're both enjoying what you're doing, or something that the both of you really like to do together in the past. Okay. And then we have the Page of Pentacles. Yeah. Some of you could be dealing with an earth sign, Virgo, Taurus, Capricorn. I do see this person reaching out to you, but I want you to keep in mind with the Two of Pentacles that there's still a bit of an indecisive energy, or it's someone who doesn't know what to do because something feels like it's out of their control. Whether that's another energy on your end, on their end, or, you know, it doesn't have to be another lover. It could be a family member. It could be a friend, someone in their social group, right? But there's something here that's causing them to feel powerless. Something that they feel like is not in their control. King of Wands. Very determined, though. And you know, the King of Wands clarifying the Five of Wands, guys, is like someone who, even if they feel a sense of competition, even if they feel a sense of defeat or conflict, they're not going to show you that. This is a very confident energy, very determined. This could be someone who's very focused on like their body. Like there's something with the gym coming up, or maybe someone here is like a fitness trainer. But what I see, guys, is like they're very determined to pursue things with you. Yes, internally, they do feel a sense of defeat or something that feels like it's out of their control, but they are not going to show you that. Like what's going on for them internally is very different from how they're operating on the external. Queen of Cups. You have a very comforting energy, and I think this person feels very safe when it comes to opening up to you emotionally. I also think that there could be like a mother or a grandmother figure here that's playing a large role in a positive way, though. Like, I think like this could be someone who has gone to their mother or grandmother for advice, and they're like, yeah, go ahead and, pursue Libra, or they're giving them some sort of positive advice. I don't really see it as playing like a negative role or anything. And it could definitely be a family member with the Six of Cups. The World card. One cycle coming to an end in order to have a fresh start with you. If this is someone who's at a physical distance from you, or there's only been communication online, that's something that's going to be changing this week. I also feel here, guys, like, with the World card, like a pattern or something that has been persistent between the both of you is coming to an end, whether it's someone's in and out energy, whether it's an ongoing conflict, right? Whether it's the indecisive behavior, it's fully coming to an end, is what I see. And the King of Wands is being clarified by the Three of Swords. Do I think this person fears rejection or some sort of hurt? Yes. Let's clarify the Three of Swords, the Eight of Cups. So it could even be someone who either walked away from the situation in the past, okay? Or there's something that they had to neglect or walk away from in order to pursue a connection with you. Let's just clarify the Two of Pentacles, the Five of Swords. So there's definitely a conflict or a very conflicting situation that they don't agree with, or they did not agree with it for quite some time, that they're walking away from. So I think that there may be some sort of drama or chaos actively going on for this person that they're not showing you. Instead, they're focused on connecting with you on an emotional level. So in the past, it could have been that they weren't able to pursue something with you because of another energy or another situation. And even though they were able to walk away from it, there's still some sort of ongoing chaos that they're keeping under wraps. Okay? So that is what I'm getting for you guys. Moving on to Scorpio. Okay, Scorpio, let's see. The person on your mind and their current feelings towards you. Okay, Scorpio, so we have the Hanged Man on the bottom of the deck here. Some of you could be dealing with the Pisces. And then we have the Moon card. So heavy Piscean energy. The person you're thinking about, Scorpio, like something could feel like it has been stagnant or stuck between the both of you for like quite some time here. Or maybe you are in a period of no contact with this person, even if it's something that occurred as of recently. And the moon could touch on like what's hidden, what's in the unknown, or some form of like suppressed emotions. So I think that this is someone who's thinking about you, but they're not really being open with you emotionally, or they are avoiding thinking about their emotions here. Like something could feel very overwhelming for them this week, specifically pertaining to their feelings for you. Okay, so how is this person feeling about Scorpio? The Two of Swords. Okay. The Nine of Wands. Do you have this person blocked? Or maybe it's just blocks in communication if you don't, if you didn't like quite literally block their number or block them on social media. But Two of Swords and the Nine of Wands. Okay, you have someone here who's in a state of denial. Okay, not accepting a situation for what it is and in a very, very defensive energy. They are thinking about you, but they're feeling very defensive, or there's something that they don't feel comfortable with. Whether this is like thinking about you and wanting to speak to you, but holding some form of a grudge, or it's feeling very defensive about something in particular and feeling like because that very thing is going to be brought up in conversation, they're avoiding a conversation as a whole. And I do think they're focused on you, but they don't want you to know that. It's a very hidden, closed off, discreet energy that's coming through here. The Five of Swords. Some of you, there has been a disagreement or an argument that occurred very recently, and it's still weighing heavily on this person's mind. So there's something you guys are disagreeing on, but they're still holding on to anger or frustration. Maybe you are as well. Like it could be something that's fresh on your mind as well, but it's like two of swords, right? And the Five of Swords could be like when you're like this person feeling like you guys are not seeing eye to eye on something, but they may feel like the truth of the matter is not being accepted either, because the Two of Swords is more like it's a card of denial. You're picking and choosing what you want to focus on, right? So it could be that they're angry or they're upset, but there may be some sort of a truth that they're ignoring this week. And I strongly feel like with the Five of Swords, they're reminded of some sort of communication that they're not proud of. Now, this is not to play the blame game, right? Like they could be feeling like, you know what, I want to take back something that I said to Scorpio, but an argument, it's it works both ways. So they're revisiting an argument and it's really stressing them out. So there could have been a harsh exchange of words between the both of you that's still impacting this person on like a mental level. And also when I look at this card here, guys, like the image, it seems to me that there's either like some form of a power struggle or like the person in the front is basically seems like the authoritative figure, but the two people behind this person don't seem pleased with the decision that's being made. So there could be some sort of like a sense of control in this connection that this person is not satisfied with. Whether it's something that they wanted to work out in a specific way and you were like, I'm not willing to do that, or that's a deal breaker for me. Or maybe there was something that where it's like what you wanted from this connection was very different from what this person wanted, and you guys had a hard time meeting on middle grounds. Because I see someone trying to assert their authority, but it did not work out the way that they wanted it to, or it did not land the way that they wanted it to. Instead, it could have led to a disagreement, or it could have escalated into an argument, is what I'm picking up on here. And then we have the Five of Pentacles. This could be someone who's going through some form of financial constraints. If it's not to do with finances, it could also just be someone who's in like a mentality of lack. I also feel, guys, like this is very specific, so only take it if it resonates, but this could be someone who is upset with their spending habits, or they tend to spend money when they are upset, when they're trying to avoid something, when they're like they use their finances as like a distraction here. Someone could have like a negative way of spending their money that impacts this connection in a negative way, like maybe like gambling, or like that's just an example, right? It doesn't have to be that, but I'm seeing some sort of like negative influence when it comes to their finances, and that could have also impacted the stability of this connection as well. Okay, so then we have the Four of Swords clarifying the Nine of Wands. It's almost an energy if you're not going to reach out to me, I'm not going to reach out to you. And that's why I strongly feel like an argument or a disagreement. It happened very recently where there's a lot of tension, in the air, as of currently. And Four of Swords is someone who's in a period of solitude, yes, trying to heal, and they still feel like a connection here with you. But I think that they know you guys are disagreeing on something, or they're reminded of a conflict and they're having a hard time letting go of it mentally and emotionally. Five of Swords, the Hermit. Yeah. So this is definitely someone that you're not speaking to. Some of you could be dealing with a Virgo. But the Hermit is a strong energy of like being in a period of solitude, doing the shadow work, or focusing on the things that feel difficult here. And yes, this person may be holding on to a level of anger or frustration, but this is like a very introspective energy where they're realizing the role that they played in this connection or in their suffering. They're realizing maybe certain shadow aspects of themselves that they need to work on as well. So again, I don't really think it's an energy of, he said, she said, or playing the blame game. I think it's just there's a lot of the emotions are running high, okay? Or there's a lot of tension between the both of you this week. The Queen of Swords, they're viewing you in a detached energy, kind of like an energy of I said what I said and I meant what I said. And they feel like they don't believe you're going to go back on your word, or they don't know if they can say or do anything to change your mind. And I also feel with the Queen of Swords, like that's a very realistic energy as well. So there could have been some sort of truth that was revealed to you and you're just accepting it for what it is. And it may have altered your perspective on this person, but you're like, it's something I can't ignore. I can't just ignore the truth. Four of Swords, the Five of Wands. They also feel like there's a lot of conflict between the both of you that could have been avoided. Maybe there was a lot of bickering in the past. Maybe it was, listening to each other with the intent of responding instead of understanding, wanting to have the last word. Maybe emotions were running high, so there were a lot of things that were said impulsively. And so now, as the dust is, settles, they're starting to realize, well, we could have avoided certain things, or maybe I could have communicated differently. It's like they feel something escalated where if they were a little more cautious in terms of how they were communicating, it wouldn't have gotten to this point. That's how they feel. Three of Cups. Yeah, I think this is someone who's overindulging or they're using something as a distraction here. I think they want to spend time with you or they want to reconnect with you. But I say this with transparency, guys. I think this is a week where there's a lot of tension and they're allowing or they feel like the space is much needed prior to reaching out or reconnecting here. Okay? So that is what I'm getting for you guys. Moving on to Sagittarius. Okay, Sagittarius, let's see. Okay, the person on your mind and their current feelings towards you. Okay, guys, so we have the Judgment on the bottom of the deck here. Some of you could be dealing with the Scorpio, and we have the Hermit, Virgo energy. Okay, so what I see here, Sagittarius, with the, Hermit and the Judgment, I'm strongly getting that this is someone who's like contemplating something about this connection and they're keeping a lot of their thoughts and emotions to themselves. So they could be in a period of solitude and there's some form of like introspection that's going on as well. But the Judgment is all about like an awakening, okay? Or some sort of a wake up call that you can't ignore. So, as this person's in a period of solitude thinking about you, the reality of a situation or some sort of truth about this connection here is resurfacing for them, and it's very hard for them to ignore. That's what I see so far. So, let's see. How is this person feeling about Sagittarius? The Four of Swords, okay, and the Five of Wands. Things seem to be a bit quiet between the both of you this week. With the Four of Swords being the first card in their feelings, it's either someone that you're in separation with, or because we did see the Hermit as well, like they are thinking about you, but they're keeping a lot to themselves. Maybe the communication is not as consistent as it usually is. And with the Five of Wands, I think that there's some sort of drama or chaos that they're trying to avoid. Right? So this could be something that's, occurring in their personal environment, but it is causing them to feel defeated in one way or another. But I do see them like trying to make peace with it, but also keep it to themselves. I'm also getting with the Four of Swords as well as the Five of Wands, like there could be a sense of wanting to speak to you or wanting to reconnect with you, but there could be a lot going on, in your environment or something like some sort of an external influence that is impacting the ability for the both of you to come together here. The King of Swords. Well, it seems to me that you've made your boundaries very clear, or there's some sort of communication that was very truthful, possibly even a little bit blunt, because they are viewing you in this detached energy. They're trying to be very practical about a solution, right? So it's like they're not wanting to do anything impulsively, but there may be like an aspect here where they're like, can I actually find a solution for that? Is that realistic or is that just something that I'm thinking about? And that's why I did say that there's more of a practical approach in terms of like finding a solution here. But King of Swords could also be, again, like a truth that has been revealed to you, or someone who feels like you're detached and you're giving them the cold shoulder this week. Temperance. Yeah. I think that this is someone who feels like you're keeping to yourself because you're wanting to feel more emotionally balanced. Because especially with the Five of Wands, they're in their feelings. Like they may feel like either A, they've put you through a lot, or there was a lot going on in their environment as they were trying to connect with you. And by default, you were kind of brought into that, chaos or mess. And so it's an energy of, Sagittarius is keeping their distance because they want to feel more emotionally balanced, or there's a lack of balance in this situation, and that's why they're withdrawn. They are thinking about you, but they are wanting to be realistic. They're like, well, Five of Wands upright could be some sort of conflict that's still ongoing. That could be someone who feels like they don't really like have something together. Like they may appear as if they have everything under control, but there's definitely something here that they feel defeated by, and they may feel like, okay, well, I don't want to bring Sagittarius into this, or that's something that I have to deal with on my own. Five of Swords. What's the King of Swords? Let's see. The Seven of Cups. Okay. Now, the Five of Swords and the King of Swords could quite literally be an ending after like an argument, but we have the Seven of Cups clarifying the King of Swords. So this is someone who feels like there were a lot of mixed signals in this connection here. Whether it's they feel like they were keeping their options open, whether it's they were connecting with you but not really wanting to fully invest or wanting to put all their eggs in one basket. But what's interesting here, guys, is this is very specific, so only take it if it resonates, but this person connecting with you could have caused an argument in their life elsewhere. So like if this is quite literally someone who was entitled to another situation and maybe was connecting with you before they cut ties with another individual, like there's some sort of conflict that came about as they were connecting with you, even if you didn't directly do anything to trigger that argument or conflict. And so now they feel like there's a lot that's up in the air with the Seven of Cups. They have a lot of questions that they feel like went unanswered, and a lot of mixed emotions here as well. They are thinking about you, but they're feeling very mentally conflicted and extremely confused. When it comes to putting a finger on how you feel, they have absolutely no idea. So needless to say that this could be a week where they're having a hard time reading you or reading how you feel. The Page of Pentacles. This could be a message, a phone call, someone reaching out to you to more so like test the waters or check up on you. It's not really like coming in with an emotional outpour. Five of Swords, the Tower. Something ended very abruptly. So here's how I'm receiving the message. Either, yes, there could be something that the both of you are disagreeing on, but I'm strongly getting like an external energy, right? Where there was a lot of drama and chaos and they couldn't keep it under wraps, where it may have become visible to you. And it really kind of changed the foundation, or at least the stability of the foundation between the both of you. Because a tower usually comes up in a spread when something wasn't built on stable grounds to begin with. So even if it's someone that you felt connected to, even if it's someone who was making you promises, I think you're very well aware that they were unable to follow through on the things that they said they were going to do because of another situation at hand. The Tower, Five of Swords, Five of Wands is almost like something blowing up in front of someone where they're like, okay, well, I wasn't prepared for this, but there's nothing I can do to change it now because it's already occurred. Seven of Cups, Tower, heavy Scorpion energy, and the Moon. There's a lot of emotions that this person is suppressing. I think that they're feeling confused, but they're also feeling a bit embarrassed about reaching out here. It's almost like they had a situation under control, or they thought they did, or they had more time to, or they thought they had more time to figure something out, but it all kind of blew up in front of them. And then, now they're dealing with the aftermath of it. And they can see why you're detached, right? But they also feel like the way that things ended was so abrupt that there's still so many questions that they have. There's a lack of clarity, a lack of closure, okay? So that is what I'm getting for you guys. Moving on to Capricorn. Okay, Capricorn. Let's see. The person on your mind and their current feelings towards you. Okay, guys, so we have the Judgment on the bottom of the deck. Some of you could be dealing with a Scorpio. And then we have the King of Pentacles, which is your energy. There's something pertaining to your stability that is changing, or something pertaining to like the stability of a connection, but you're going to feel a positive impact from this. Whether it's a decision that you're making for yourself, whether it's a decision that's being made between you and another individual, there's some sort of positive news pertaining to, again, the stability of this connection, or maybe even just something personal that's going on for you. And it's also a change that you feel like was much needed, okay, with the Judgment. I also feel, guys, with the Judgment and the King of Pentacles, someone could be like waking up to a connection with you, or realizing that if they don't change something, they're going to completely lose access to you. Okay. Because the Judgment, guys, it's like having an awakening or a wake-up call that you can't avoid. Okay. How is this person feeling about Capricorn? Four of Wands. Sorry, guys, I'm just looking at the images here. This is a new deck, at least for me. But Four of Wands being the first card in their feelings. This is heavy reconciliation energy, or it's someone who has a higher level of commitment on their mind. There may also be some sort of like cultural or religious factors playing a role here. There may be some sort of cultural or religious differences between the both of you as well. Maybe even an age gap. Okay, but I see someone who has commitment on their mind. You could be dealing with the fire sign, Aries, Leo, Sagittarius, but they have this like burning desire for you, or they're feeling this magnetic pull towards you this week. The Six of Swords. So this is someone who's like wanting to make peace with you. But when I look at this image, guys, I feel like this is someone who feels like they're walking on thin ice. So whether it's like, you know, I have one chance to get something right with Capricorn, or I feel like I'm walking on eggshells, but I don't want to necessarily give up on a connection. They are wanting to move to calmer waters with you, but they feel like they have to be very careful with the way that they're communicating with you. Or they feel like they only have one more chance to get something right, or it's going to lead to like, you know, an ending. And so the Six of Swords, yes, it could be like a peace offering, or it's like speaking about something where you guys are able to meet on middle grounds, right? Even if like a compromise is required. Two of Swords. You know what I'm seeing here, Capricorn? Like you have someone who feels like they've been in like a very avoidant energy, or they have specifically been in denial about something in particular, and they're ready to face it head on this week. They're tired of running from something or avoiding it, because it keeps like it's something that it's very persistent, right? So no matter how much they try to avoid a thought or a feeling that they have, when it comes to this connection with you, they're like, I can no longer run from it, and something is hitting them full throttle this week. And Six of Swords, Two of Swords, right? That's the Eight of Swords. They've really been up in their mind about you. They've even felt very mentally restricted when it comes to this situation. But I think that this is a week where they feel ready to act on these emotions. But they are doing something in like a very diligent manner, and I'm persistently getting that here. Like, I got to be careful with my choice of words, or I can't come off too impulsive. There may even be certain things that you have communicated to this person where you were uncomfortable with the way that they spoke to you in the past, and they're keeping that in mind, or they're taking that into account here. King of Swords. Here's what I see. They feel like you're open to hearing them out, but you're also in like a very detached energy. They feel like you're doing more listening and analyzing as opposed to speaking. And it could be a little bit intimidating for them, because I think they're going to take the opportunity to speak to you, but they know that there's a level of frustration or anger that you're holding on to. Like you're in a very, I don't know if unbothered is the right word, but like you're in this energy of, okay, well, what more do you have to say? Like, what could you possibly say at this point that's going to change my mind? Like, you could be pretty fed up here. And I say that with transparency, but I think this is someone who still is going to try to work something out with you. Knight of Pentacles. Yeah, there could have been a very stagnant energy, or this is someone who is kind of dragging their feet to move towards you, to communicate something to you. But they have a plan in mind, or they feel a lot more decisive than they have in the past about wanting something more with you or pursuing something stable here. And the Knight of Pentacles, like that could be an energy of taking a while to make a decision. But when the Knight of Pentacles makes a decision, there's no turning around, right? It's the most reliable knight in the deck. And then we have the Queen of Cups. So wanting to have a heart-to-heart conversation with you, opening up to you emotionally in hopes that they could feel closer to you or bridge some sort of an emotional gap that they feel when it comes to this connection. And the King of Swords, the High Priestess. I think this person is intimidated by your silence, or they feel like you're not really saying much and they're trying to figure you out, which is creating a bit of confusion for them. Like High Priestess could be when someone is using their like intuition to maneuver through a situation, for instance, right? But what I'm intuitively picking up on is like you and this person having a conversation, but like, and I'm not saying you're not responding at all, but maybe your responses are like one word replies, or you, if you're on the phone with this person or you're seeing them in person, you're just listening to what they're saying. And so they can sense this energy of you feeling frustrated or fed up, but they're still wanting to utilize this opportunity to open up to you and possibly have a reconciliation here. Piscean energy, Eight of Swords. And I did mention that with the Two of Swords as well as the Six of Swords. So needless to say, they've been feeling very restricted. This could be someone who feels very nervous or anxious about this communication. And they've been thinking about you and the situation for quite some time, but they're tired of being up in their mind about it and they want to act on their emotions here. Do I think that they're stressed out or fearing some sort of rejection? Absolutely. But they feel like if they don't try now, they're never going to have an opportunity to try again. So either your boundaries are very clear, or you guys are like reconnecting here, but they feel like if this conversation doesn't go well, then it's going to lead to an ending that they can't avoid. Queen of Cups and the Five of Swords. They're also trying to avoid some sort of conflict here. What exactly is the Five of Swords? The Three of Wands. Yeah, avoiding a conflict, planning for the future with you. And again, guys, I think they're being very realistic. They know that you're upset or you're frustrated, but they don't want a conversation to escalate into something that the both of you can't come back from. And the Three of Wands is like an energy of like, planning for the future, wanting to see some sort of growth, but it's clarifying the Five of Swords. So there's a bit of uncertainty. Yes, they want to grow, they want to see some sort of progress, but they're like, is that really realistic? And I think maybe a conversation is going to help them figure out that answer. Okay. So that is what I'm getting for you guys. Moving on to Aquarius. Okay, Aquarius, let's see. The person on your mind and their current feelings towards you. Okay, guys, so we have the Sun card on the bottom of the deck. Some of you could be dealing with the Leo. And we also have the Ace of Wands. Seems to me there's some sort of like exciting new beginning here taking place for you. Or with the Sun card and the Ace of Wands, what I'm being drawn to is there's a blank canvas. So it could be someone who feels very connected to you, but they also feel like there's a lot of potential here, possibly even unexplored potential. Okay. Could be a Leo or another fire sign, so Sagittarius, Aries. There's definitely a lot of passion that this person feels towards you, a lot of chemistry, attraction. How is this person feeling about Aquarius? Okay, we have the Four of Cups and the Seven of Pentacles. So you have someone here who's like analyzing a connection with you, but they're questioning your interest. this week. Like there may be like something that occurred, or it's just an assumption that they're making here where they feel like you guys are not on the same page, or there's some sort of disconnect that they feel. So yes, they're feeling attracted to you and they're analyzing the connection with you, but they may feel like, does Aquarius really feel the same way? Or, maybe some of you communicated that you were no longer satisfied with how something was progressing in this connection. This could also be an energy of someone who is stuck in like fantasy land, because this card is associated with fantasizing, having visions, daydreaming, but it's not the most action-oriented energy. So it could be that the situation in their mind seems so great, but when they look at the reality of it, they're like having a hard time taking action, or something is not getting off the ground the way that they want it to. The Eight of Swords. Okay, yeah. So you definitely have someone who is feeling mentally restricted, or they're in their own way. So it could even be read as like a case of self-sabotage. I think this person spends a lot of time thinking about you and what you guys could have together, and they strongly feel like there's unexplored potential. But when it comes to taking action, there's some sort of stalling going on, or they're in their own way. Like Eight of Swords could be when you are thinking about something in particular, or you're feeding into negative or pessimistic thoughts where you're talking yourself out of acting on something. Because it's like they have visions of the both of you together, but maybe they're telling themselves it's not going to work out, or they're telling themselves that it's all in their head, or there's something here that's not making sense to them. And I think that it's something that maybe some sort of communication could definitely clear up that confusion, but you have someone who feels very stuck mentally, right? And this is an energy of more thinking than doing. At least this week, that's what's going on. The Five of Wands. This could be someone who feels they are involved in a situation or some sort of drama that they feel completely defeated by. Like they're tired of it, but they also feel like, I can't do anything to stop this chaos or drama. And so the Five of Wands could touch on like external influences. This could be someone who's like not content with their current environment, whether it's a job situation, maybe it's something to do with a family member, or something pertaining to their social group. And yes, they feel defeated by it, but they're like, what can I do? Like, it's not in my hands to, alter this or find a solution for it. And it's almost like you have someone here who's thinking about you, but they feel like they can't do anything about their emotions. And it doesn't mean that's the truth, because like I said, Four of Cups and the Eight of Swords is what we're thinking, and the more we think about it, we feed into it. It doesn't mean that it's the truth, but it's the thoughts that we're thinking, which obviously it's powerful, right? If we're telling ourselves we can't get out of something, if we're telling ourselves, we're feeling defeated constantly, that's what, our mind is going to believe. The Strength card, Leo energy, trying to numb some sort of pain that they feel. And this is someone who has intense emotions for you, but I will say that there's some sort of a waiting game, or things are stagnant because they don't feel like they can truly act on their emotions and be open with you in like an authentic way. And it could be because of an external influence, and it could also, for others of you, it's something that they're just feeding into mentally. Like a situation at hand that they're involved in could feel more complex for them in their mind than the reality of it. Eight of Swords, the Two of Wands, definitely feeling the distance between the both of you, a deep desire for you or to connect with you. But they may feel like they need to plan something or not act on their emotions impulsively. This is also someone who feels like if they were to connect with you in the current moment, they would cause some sort of confusion because of what they're going through or something that's actively going on in their environment. Five of Wands, Queen of Swords. They feel like you're really tired of the obstacles or interferences. They may view you in a very detached energy, or someone who's giving them the cold shoulder this week. And, the Queen of Swords clarifying the Five of Wands could indicate that you specifically cut ties with this person because you felt there was so much going on and there was nothing being done about it. So like if this is someone who lives in a very chaotic environment, if this is someone who is entitled to another situation and that was causing a lot of drama between the both of you, you may have said, this is way too much, or there's way too much going on right now. I'm just going to completely cut ties with this person until they figure it out on their own. And you have someone who's aware of this chaos and drama, but they're not in the most action-oriented energy, at least not this week. The Hanged Man, yeah. Very stuck or stagnant energy. They are having a shift in perspective, I will say that. But I think there's more, again, overthinking and overanalyzing going on as opposed to being in like a solution-oriented energy. They feel very stuck on you, but they also feel stuck in a situation that they feel powerless about. The Queen of Wands. Wow. Again, guys, I think there's a lot of chemistry. There's a lot of attraction. Let's clarify the Queen of Wands, the Eight of Wands. So I do see this person reaching out to you. It could be on a whim or in the spur of the moment, but the Eight of Wands is a card of communication, whether it's via, phone call or text message. And the Queen of Wands and specifically the Eight of Wands could also be a card of like manifestation, right? Like manifesting an opportunity to bump into you, to reconnect with you. But I think that there's going to be some sort of a waiting game that progresses or continues before this person reaches out. And it's because they're in their own way. It's because they're over analyzing the situation or something seems more complex for them mentally. I'm not taking away from the situation that they're going through or maybe how chaotic something can feel. But it doesn't seem impossible to come out of, but in their mental state of mind is causing them to feel that way. Okay? So that is what I'm getting for you guys. Moving on to Pisces. Okay, Pisces, let's see. The person on your mind and their current feelings towards you. Okay, so we have the Judgment on the bottom of the deck. Some of you could be dealing with a Scorpio or a Leo with the Strength card. Okay. Seems to me that there has been a major shift between you and another individual, but someone is like there's some sort of ego or pride involved here. So someone could be operating, of course, from a space of ego or pride, or there's something that they're trying to numb. So like what I see is like a change or a shift that is impacting them heavily, but they're not wanting you to see that, or they're like refraining from showing that on the external. There's some sort of control that this person wants in a situation, or they want to appear as if like very nonchalant, even though something is impacting them more than they're letting on. Okay, how is this person feeling about Pisces? Okay, so we have the Two of Wands and the Emperor. Some of you could be dealing with an Aries. With the Two of Wands and the Emperor, guys, like I think that there's some, like I don't know if the best way to explain it is like a sense of control, but I do think that this is someone who is attached to a specific outcome, or they want something to occur in a specific way. So like you could be involved with more of like a traditional individual who does things by the books, or it's just like a plan that they have in mind, but something is not going according to plan and it's impacting them, but they're not showing it on the outside. And, I did say that like this is someone who could be coming off nonchalant, but a situation or an ending is impacting them more than they're letting on here. And the Emperor could be a very difficult energy to read. It could be like when even if you see this person on a day-to-day basis, they could be in like this poker face energy, right? Where they're not really showing their emotions, or they're not really communicating how they feel. There's like a mask or some sort of, like something that they're masking, and not something that they're masking, the true emotions or the true impact that a change has on them. They're not showing it on the outside. The Tower. There could have been an abrupt ending between you and this individual that they feel like they were not prepared for. And the Tower usually comes up in a spread, right? When something was not built on a stable foundation to begin with. So there could have been a false start between you and this person that is really impacting them. This could be someone who feels like they weren't completely, transparent with you, or didn't have a plan in mind, and things fell apart, where they are dealing with the aftermath of it. But I'm persistently getting a message of someone who wants to appear as if they have it together, or a shift or an ending is not impacting them the way that it is. So what's going on for them internally is very different from what they're, they're showing you on the external Nine of Pentacles. This is someone who is viewing you as a catch, but they feel like you're in more of like a self-focused energy. Whether it's you've made it clear that you're choosing yourself, or they feel like your work, your career, your finances is requiring more of your attention and focus this week. And this is an energy of, it's a single energy, right? So they do feel like you're in this independent energy. You're choosing to focus on yourself. And there's something that feels very unstable about this connection, which is why you're like withdrawn. The Emperor, the Ace of Cups, they do want a new beginning here. This could even be someone who wants to express, or they want an opportunity to express how they feel towards you. Okay. But I think there's more wishing and hoping going on, because I'm getting some sort of resistance, or like an energy of control, really, where it's like, I'm not ready to, like, this is what I want. I want a new beginning, but I don't want to show my emotions in the current moment. Or if I do express my emotions, it will be in a specific way. Like, there's some sense of control here that I'm picking up on. The Tower, the Two of Pentacles. And this could be someone who's in between worlds, so they're still in an indecisive energy. It could even be read as like a case of juggling. So if it's not between, you and another option, it could be someone who is very, let's just say, career focused, right? Or very focused on the material realm or their finances, but they're still trying to make time for you. But the Two of Pentacles, what it boils down to is ultimately juggling two things, but you're going to end up losing two things if you don't make a decision. So there could even be an energy of like divine intervention here, where this person feels like they are being forced into making a decision, because a Tower is a change that you cannot avoid. It's usually something that occurs and you feel like you're not prepared for it, but there's also nothing you can do about it except deal with the consequences of it. The Seven of Cups, a lot of confusion. They feel like there are a lot of questions that went unanswered. Seven of Cups could also be someone who feels like they sent you mixed signals in the past, or they weren't making their intentions and emotions clear towards you. Scorpion energy. And Two of Coins as well as the Seven of Cups could be connecting with you, but also keeping their options open. And now they feel like they just lost everything that they had. And the reason why there may be like a sense of control that this person feels is because they know if they were to come back around, they would have to come back around with their tail between their legs. And one of the first things I was picking up on intuitively as I opened the spread is like someone operating from a space of ego or pride. Three of Pentacles. I think this person does want to come to a mutual agreement or meet you on middle grounds, but it would probably occur after letting go of, their ego, or letting go of a guard that they have up, because there's like a fear of you truly knowing the impact that you have on their life, or how much this ending, is impacting them. Two of Pentacles, Six of Wands. Yeah, I think they could even specifically be doing something to grab your attention this week. I do think they want a successful outcome here, but it would require them to clear up some sort of confusion, yes, but also be okay with being vulnerable, or letting you know that something is impacting them, because the more that someone resists change and strives for control, it's going to create an energetic block here. Okay. So that is what I'm getting for you guys this week. I really do hope you were able to find a message that resonated with you here today. And thank you so much for your time.